Thought I'd talk a little bit about my experiences in the workplace as an office worker and now as an hourly worker. Anyway, like a lot of people, I worked in a large office for a long time, and usually people in offices are either corporate or government. They're in it for the long haul. You work with people in an office all day. You spend a lot of time with them. You spend more time with them than you do with your family. You get to know each other's bathroom habits, each other's hygiene habits, each other's moods. You spend more time with them, but they go home to another family. They celebrate holidays with the family. And usually, after you stop working, maybe one of them will keep in touch with you regularly. Anyway, after I retired, by the way, I was very lucky because I didn't have to be in the office every day. We had field days. Thank God. I don't know how I could have managed being in the office, having to pass by the same people in the hallway all the time and smile, even though one of you might not want to say hello to each other. Just having to go through those mechanisms. Anyway, for a while, I did the app work, Grubhub, DoorDash, Lyft, whatever, all those apps. I did it for a while, but after a while, you just kind of feel disconnected. You feel like you don't belong anywhere, like you have no connections. And even though you were miserable being around those people all the time in the office, you want some kind of a human connection. I felt lost. So I started doing hourly type of work, part time event work. I worked at an airport for a while as a rental car driver. I worked in a hotel as a shuttle driver. I've worked as a traffic flagger in parking lots at various venues, answering motorist questions, directing people to parking, crossing pedestrians, cashier. I've done event security at various expositions and games and concerts. And most recently, I returned to an office environment. I was offered a good job, a government job, a decent hourly salary with benefits, and I tried it out for a couple weeks, but it just didn't seem natural returning to that environment again, having to be in such close quarters with people and eventually sharing intimate secrets. I know it happens, but you're not really friends and spending all those hours together because you come back after having been away from that and everybody seems transparent to you. You see their bullshit. In the past, you bought into their bullshit. They thought they really cared because you wanted to believe that you really had solid friendships and you coexisted with people who care about you and you care. But the truth is that you see the bullshit having been around. So anyway, I'll go back to my part-time. You know what's good about working with the public hourly part-time event? The public comes in and makes your job so hard sometimes. They push your buttons and make it so difficult and challenging that you kind of bond together with the other workers because you're not with each other all the time. You're outside and you're facing all kinds of situations. Whereas when you're in an office, you're insulated from the world. You're insulated from the bullshit. You create your own little clique, your own little world, your own little hierarchy of who's up, who's important, who's administrative, and who's a peon, who doesn't like, who's talking about this one. I don't have time for that bullshit anymore.